Hey guys, Abby with Motor City Nerds here. I'm so sorry I've been slacking, but honestly, I ended up having to get more tooth work than I thought. It was all just a thing. But if you've been around since the Succession reviews, thank you for being here, first and foremost. That was when I first started. And they're not very good. And some of them are all jacked up in the editing and stuff, but thank you for being here. I'm definitely going to review it. I'm so excited for this season. I'm so excited to see John Wick tomorrow. But yeah, I do have a bias towards Logan Roy. Okay, first, if you've been on the channel, you know this. I kid you not, in the least toxic way, my uncle who just passed away, who raised me, some of the things that Logan Roy has said, I'm like, he has said that verbatim, but not just that, they look similar, just the way they speak is similar, and it's just, this season's going to be hard for us to watch. Like, it's going to be hard for us after losing him. Outside of me having a bias for Logan, and I understand we should hate the big corporate monster, I like Logan. But then again, Tywin Lannister is one of my favorite characters. I'm not saying that Logan Roy is the greatest guy, by any means. He's horrible, he's awful, I get that. But there's something that we like about him. Otherwise, we wouldn't want to watch this show. I think we root for both sides of this family. There are instances through this that I'm like, this is what makes Logan... I don't want them to do like a prequel or anything like that. Oh, remember to comment, subscribe, join the channel. We're small, but we're awesome. And yeah, we're definitely going to be covering Succession's final season. Now, I understand that when people come at like me saying I'm Team Logan or whatever, remember that this is a TV show. It doesn't mean that I agree with people's business strategies or whatever. I'm just talking about characters, and yeah, there's something to be said for this man that has built an empire and is like, I don't want to let go of it. I have my own theories about Logan. I think that Cousin Greg will win it all in the end. Maybe not win it all, but he's going to be a huge player. Because if you ever notice something about Logan, he never turns on his brother. He never truly turns on his family. I think he's just like, I want you all to come together, but you're not coming together the way I want. But I also think that stems from the little nuggets of trauma that he dealt with growing up that we didn't see, but that they allude to. For some reason, my camera is not acting correct, but we'll find out in a minute. In season 1, we have him getting sick, kind of spiraling, losing it. He's also getting older. That's established by him getting sick, and it's just a heavy hitter of him knowing, like, I'm not going to live forever. And I always really loved that scene with James Cromwell, who plays his brother, when he says, my brother's a lot of things. He's an ex-Scot, he's an ex-human being, but he's still my brother. And we never fully get the story with his sister, who I'm going to talk about more in a minute, but we know that something really bad was going on in that dynamic. Now, like I said, are some of the things that Logan does okay? No, they're not. They're not okay. But I do think he genuinely loves his children. I do think that. I think he's just a control freak who does not know how to love correctly. And we get more of that even in the first season when they go to Connor's weird compound in the desert for therapy, and we see the scars on his back. That's the first, like, visible thing that we see, that it's like Logan had something really bad happen to him. And obviously him and his brother got mad beef, but won't turn on each other, which to me says you guys went through a really traumatic, crazy upbringing together, and whether or not you like each other or agree with each other's ideologies, you guys had each other's back then, so you have each other's back now. I'm not going to get into every nook and cranny about Logan Roy. Obviously, this guy's a big bad, mean guy who has done jacked up stuff, but there's even hints to it on the yacht in season 2, right? Is that season 2? When he's telling Kendall, they all behaved like dogs. I didn't. And this is obviously his self-preservation kicking in and going, I shouldn't have to take accountability, even though I knew this jacked up stuff was happening and he didn't do anything about it. That makes you just as bad. But when he says, I was a good Catholic boy who couldn't even take his shirt off in front of his wife. Like, I didn't treat people like this. I shouldn't have to go down for it. He truly feels that way. That's not correct. Like, you should have done more to protect people. That's on you. It's your company. Like, it is what it is, bud. But he says all that stuff, like, I didn't do this stuff. Like, I'm not a horrible human being who just goes out of their way to hurt people. It also doesn't condone that. But for sake of the video and how we're talking right now, Logan isn't going out of his way to bully people. He's not going out of his way to hurt people. It's just when it comes to his company and self-preservation. We cheer for Tony Soprano. But this is the big, huge deciding factor. And Mom and I have discussed this at length. And we both feel like Logan does love his children. He does love his children. He just does not know how to love correctly. And I think that he does want to give them the company. He just doesn't know how to give up control. So he's like, I'll just go down like a pharaoh with all of my shit buried with me. Coming from somebody who I love my mom, she's the greatest, she's my hero, but she's very, when it comes to things. And I love that about her, because I'm not like that, but she is. And it's all because she loves her family. And is she running a mega corporation and harming people and having terrible things happen to them? No. But I can see where this character just truly is like, this is my only way to show how I love, is this huge company and money and whatever. And I think what truly bothers Logan is that they didn't come together the way he wanted them to. I think that he truly saw in Kendall, when he went to the press conference and was like, I ain't taking the fall for this, I think Logan truly respected that. I think Logan was like, that's what I needed to see. Do you have it in you to go fully ruthless? Do you have it in you to take over this company? I think Logan truly saw at the end of season 3, now this is what makes you come together? This is what made you guys come together finally? And I think it bothers Logan, but at the same time, he's like, this is kind of what I've wanted this entire time. Even if we just go back and thematically look at this character, in season 1, he's realizing he's older. In season 2, he feels completely alone after losing Marcia. He has nobody that he feels he can fully trust 100%, including his kids now, because of everything that happened in season 1. I think he thinks he can trust Roman, but I don't think he trusts any of his kids 100%. I do think he truly loves them. It's just whether or not, and Mom and I have said this since season 1, does he just love them, or does he love using them like pawns? We know he likes to use them as pawns, but is there genuine love there? I think there is. We're going to get into it. In season 1, we see the scars. We have a little bit of back and forth between him and the brother. We know there was a big fallout there. Season 2, it is honed in on more about the sister Rose and what happened there. Then we get to season 3, and Rose gets brought up specifically. In my favorite episode is the episode 5, when they're yelling at Carl to go vamp. It's my favorite. I think that's one of the funniest episodes in the entire series. But when he has the UTI, I think the reason that Logan doesn't get Tom in trouble is for Shiv, because Shiv is the one, and I think Logan is slightly disappointed in Shiv in season 2 when she's like, for me, please, save Tom. And I think Logan's like, you'll turn on your brothers like that? Like, I think Logan is a very complicated character. And like I said, back in season 1, we see the scars, we see the friction with the brother. Now we have the sister being brought up more and more in season 3. And it's in a funny way because he's hallucinating, but it's like, was that the type of violence and abuse you were so accustomed to and was so common in your household? And were you and your brother used to taking that abuse so she wouldn't have to until something really bad happened and she didn't survive? Him saying that he sees a dead cat underneath Rose's chair and he does not want her to see it, get it out before she comes back. And they're like, what is going on? And nobody really thinks about that part. But like I said, because I love this character, I'm like, no, this is obviously, and I've talked about this at length in my reviews, Succession is very much a story about the cycles of abuse and generational abuse. And who's going to break the cycle of that? Him and his brother have this beef. We know that there were these issues. We know that they still have each other's backs like this. And we know that he lost his sister. You know what I'm saying? And we know that they lived with their big, mean, scary uncle that they don't like talking about. So what went on there? To me, it doesn't sound like you're a bad guy when you're saying that, get this dead animal out before my sibling sees it. I would rather see that and take care of it than have her do it. To me, that doesn't sound like a bad guy. That sounds like somebody who went through some shit and does not know how to love correctly or break those cycles of abuse. That's what it seems like to me. And that does not justify anybody treating another person like shit. And I say that all the time. There's a point you got to hit when things are abusive, whether that's with your family or a significant other or whatever, of going, you're a grown-ass adult. It doesn't mean you get to treat people like shit just because you went through some stuff. We've all been through stuff. But like I said, fundamentally, as a character on screen, I think it makes for a very layered, interesting character. Now, I don't know if I ever want to get the full story of Logan. But I do think, yeah, you've been through some shit, dude. And in your own way, you're trying to do better, but it's still really jacked up. But I do think there's a huge part of just like, I ain't giving up my empire. I ain't giving up my shit, assholes. Definitely think Tom snitched them out, and I think that Logan was kind of happy about that in season 3 because it's just like throwing in Shiv's face, like, no, your brothers and you are going to be the crew that need to have each other's backs, just like me and my brother do. Now, the reason I think Cousin Craig might quote unquote win it all in the end if Kendall doesn't take over is because Logan likes that Cousin Greg started out in parks. Where did he send Roman? The park management program. He wants him to have those normal, regular Joe experiences, and Cousin Greg came from that. And Logan is like, you're a little out there, but I like ya. And I could definitely see his brother, Ewing, passing away, Greg's grandfather, and Greg having a heftier role to play if he gets his grandfather's board seat. And just that scene alone of him at the end of season 3 with Logan saying, "Love, you come at me with love. First you come in here guns blazing, but now that you realize it all went to shit, you're backtracking." Okay. And we see that craziness he has, and we see that big bully mentality he has, but like I said, when we break it down, I'm like, I don't know, I think this is a very, very complicated, interesting character. And I know that I'm biased. I'm fully aware that I'm biased. I'm not. Whenever I say Team Logan, I know people are like, "Me, you're cheering for the mega corporations." It's like, hell no, I'm not. The most relatable thing about Succession, and otherwise it wouldn't work. We can't relate to the 1%. We can't relate to jumping on yachts and doing whatever we want. We can't relate to that, but we can relate to, just like with Game of Thrones or Sopranos, can you relate to being in the mob? Can you relate to being in a royal family? No. We can relate to, I don't get along as great with my brother or my sister. I still love them. They're my family. But no matter what, 1% or on the poverty line or middle class, family is complicated. And that's what sells this show. That's what the beating heart of it is family. And the funny part is, like, Roman, who's always talking smack about the family angle of, like, the promotion and stuff for their company, he's really the most about family. And I think that Logan knows that, but he wants his kids to know that. I truly do. I truly feel that way. But I'm like, when people see me cheering for Logan, they're like, "What is wrong with you? You psychopath?" And I'm just like, no. I love this character, not the corporation shit we relate to. It's the family angle. It's the big parent we can trust angle. It's all of that. So I love it. And I'm so excited for this next season. So tell me what you're excited about down in the comments. I need to email Mike because there was an issue with his prize getting mailed out and I'm pissed off about it. But yeah, I'm happy with Motor City Nerds. Make sure you subscribe before we get into the final season of Succession, which makes me so sad. I am so sad about that. Oh, I'll talk about it. I'm sorry. Last of Us was fine, but I was so bored. I was so bored. And if you guys want me to get into that, I will. Just comment down below. But yeah, I'm on OnlyF. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the stuff. It's down below. I don't know. It's just... the last couple of weeks have been hard. You guys know it's been hard lately, but I'm glad that Succession's back. Oh, and it's springtime?